Hello there and welcome back to Corey Lewis's, where today we are once again continuing our Thrawn's Revenge 2.3.6 preview playthrough as the Galactic Empire. In the last episode, which was shorter than I'd intended because I had to go play Mario Kart, we started towards the core, but most importantly, we got ourselves a new leader who is currently heading up towards the north to help deal with the corporate sector. So, as usual, for those of you watching on YouTube, this is being recorded on Twitch, so I'll be trying to respond to any comments or questions in the Twitch chat as we go. I did port over a few changes from the main build, so the MC80B model should be here, as well as the new Dauntless. So, hopefully there weren't any problems with that. We'll find out. Thank you, Escoism, for the sub. But yeah, so we are going to be starting, by the time this episode goes out, actually. No, not by the time it goes out. So this weekend, no matter where you're watching this, there will be the first episodes of the CIS playthrough. So I'm planning to have it so that this episode of this playthrough that you're watching right now goes out on Thursday. If you're not seeing this on Thursday, then my bad. But on Saturday and Sunday, there should be 2 episodes of the CIS playthrough. But yeah, we were making some decent progress with our capitals, and we're getting close to being able to afford everything. But let's get Abelos Demise and Leda 2 here. We're slowly building up towards having all that stuff, but we should have the Carida Academy. Yeah, we do. And we have 7 influence there. We're going to put the capital there, which should get us up to 9 or 10. So I forget if we have timed influence on in Thrawn's Revenge yet. But I would like to take Laius. We have this. Well, did Palpatine make his? No, he didn't finish his quest. Let's see if we can pop this. Oh, never mind. We are getting attacked by the CSA. By a bunch of Lucrehulks, actually. And a Bulwark. Capital not on. Well, I want the influence on Carida so we can have better officer spawns. What happens when you drop to low influence? Right now, nothing. It just lowers your income. But eventually it will be possible to have planets revolt if they don't like you. That is one of the longer term goals of influence. We just need to have more metrics for it. Because right now there's only so much you can do to impact it. Not really much that lowers it, so having a mechanic that comes into play when it's too low wouldn't really come into play very much. We're actually getting a little bit of lag.
Interceptor squad reporting.
Alright, do we want them to come to us? I kind of want them to come to us, but they're very slow. Let's see if we can move on up here. I don't know how this is gonna go for us. And I was working before starting the stream on some more ground battle changes, so hopefully we'll have something to show with that soon. Jacked is working on that right now, I think, as well, because I didn't finish everything I'd wanted to finish, and there was a problem I was running into, so hopefully he finds a solution. Can having troops on the ground on low influence system planets stop produce the change, or will it be like Pokemon? Detecting units on the planet can be kind of difficult because of how influence works, because it resets every week, and then having to keep track of everything is very difficult. Or like finding every unit in the galaxy, as you can imagine, is kind of resource intensive. So we don't want to get too much influence, or too much reliance on finding that information.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
It looks like Arrow of Solace is coming straight for us. I did port in some of the modified backgrounds, so you can see they look a little bit different. You'll hopefully see some of the other... Like, I didn't do a full revamp of them. I've modified the ones that are there to hopefully make them look a little bit better. But... will lower influencer having less heroes impact stability? Once we have the stability mechanics in, it'll probably tie an influence one way or the other. Either one will increase... Either stability will increase influence, or influence will increase stability. We haven't decided which way to do that yet. If Phalanx troopers holding their guns sideways get fixed? I believe so. Because we needed to re-rig a lot of the infantry. It's just ground updates haven't gone fully into TR yet, so if it hasn't been fixed, it will be by the time release happens. Do you watch any other streamers on Twitch? I guess the only ones that I really watch on Twitch are like Critical Role when they're airing their episodes, because they come out a week later otherwise. But sometimes I'll pop in for a bit of one of Shaq streams or Quill 18s or something, but I tend to prefer watching stuff on YouTube. I don't love the Twitch platform very much. Alright, let's try to get in on this bulwark while it's slightly lonely.
Target locked. Weapons ready. Them. I have them launching attack. Awaiting orders. Attack.
Luckily we have an allegiance. Pylon is ready to go here.
Open fire. Eliminating target.
Hey, Treadon. Can Palpatine spawn with Royal Guards and grab battles like Grievous with his Magna Guards? Well, right now Grievous doesn't really do that either, but it's possible in the future Palpatine would get Royal Guard escorts. Because we're handling that stuff a little bit different now, as well, with how we spawn those kind of things. Alright, we've got the bulwark alone, which is good. Get over here, Core World Pride. We might lose the shields on Mega Road, but doesn't look like it. Rampager is still there. I haven't switched its class yet, Rhino. Which factions can currently build Seculars? We've actually done some shuffling on the Warlord rosters, so Pentastarlight will probably keep it. We haven't really discussed the capitals yet, so I probably won't answer that just yet, because it's more likely to change than most things over the next little while. Oh, here comes another Lucre Hulk. I kept the other two back. Have there been any Mon Cal ship refreshes yet? Every single Mon Calamari ship has been remodeled and retextured. The Viscount isn't coded in yet, but everything else is. The MC-30 has also been re-added. If you look on any of the previous episodes of this playthrough, then I've shown, like, the Home 1 was pretty prominent in it, the Liberty. I think we showed some MC-30Cs last time. MC-80B, I think I just transferred the MC-80B model. So if we find any MC-80Bs this episode, they should be the new ones. Same with the Dauntless. Did you add any new government stuff for the Empire in this update? Yeah, that will be in the update. It's not in the playthrough. We're still working on some of the aspects of the Imperial government stuff. Here, we need to move you in and heal a little bit. But Imperial government is one of the things that's being worked on for this release. Does the Empire have TIE Punishers? TIE Punishers are currently just for the Errata Authority.
Eliminating target.
And we don't have any rough release date yet for the update, because we're still not entirely decided on the scope. There are certain things that we could release or that we could do now or not that we're kind of leaning towards doing, which will delay it a little bit, but they're kind of important, especially with shipyards. All right, here comes a VSD. Adamant. I'm gonna put Ace Striker and Core World Pride on that one. Move you over so we can get some healing going.
Watch your back.
Yes, sir.
Watch it. He's coming around.
At your command.
The radius on healing is probably going to end up being a lot larger for most ships, because just pathfinding is so annoying in the game.
Awaiting your command. Your command, sir. I got one. Moving to coordinates.
Is a new game coming out soon? No, this is a mod for Star Wars Empire at War, Reckless.
Standing by.
Alright, now we just got to go up to these 3 battle carriers. That's scary.
Heading out. Reporting in. Reporting in. Reporting. Right away. Locking on.
We don't have that many fighters ourselves. We do have a good amount of bombers. So we're going to have to be a little bit wary of that. Like, scimitars aren't horrible for anti-fighter still. Or not anti-fighter, but like not immediately dying.
Target locked. Attacking target.
Era 3, did you get Thrawn killed? No, we progressed voluntarily last episode, Awesome Creation.
I copy.
We're going to stick with Palpatine for a fair amount of time. I want to at least get the Eclipse and the Sovereign going, and a couple World Devastators. So we're trying to get our economy rolling first. I don't want to make too many advances in New Republic territory yet. I just want to solidify stuff while we get those kind of fleets built.
Star Destroyer
Getting
reporting
a lock. Eliminating target.
in. Yes, Commander.
Intercepting. I'm on them. Target locked.
Awaiting orders.
Alright, fighters, you're not supposed to be that far up. Let's bring Spam Usabi, Arrestor, Modular Task Force Cruiser, and Endurance up around here. Alright. I'm actually going to send our bombers after this Lucrehulk.
Locking on.
Copy. Attack. I copy.
Stay in formation.
And SDF, Powder Weapons.
Maximum effect.
I have them now. Enemies in range.
Reporting.
Target
Full
locked.
speed ahead.
You need to get in as close as possible. And let's get Powder Weapons.
Maximum firepower.
I'm on them. Where'd he go? Eliminating target.
Commander.
Coming
Open
around.
fire. Copy. Attack. Fire. I copy.
Alright.
Destroy those lasers. Take out their engine.
I think this is one of the last big fleets the CSA is going to have. They don't have many planets left, and this is what they decided they wanted to fight us with, so...
Roger that.
Excellent shot.
Attack.
Getting a lock.
Ready. Open fire.
Intercepting.
Okay.
Form up. Attacking target.
We're starting to lose some hard points on Pylon.
I got fire at will.
Did we lose? We did lose all of our bombers, because the anti-fighter on
Nowhere to
the Lucrehulks is actually decent as well.
Destroyer here.
Alright, we're going to need to move up.
stay in formation.
Attacking.
Falling out of
We'll just let opportunity fire on the way to this last one kill this one, and we'll switch some targets between these two, or some ships between those two. You're going to want to get as close as possible.
I'm losing.
So we're going to need the repairing on pylon.
Go after the stragglers. Our engines are out. Weapons ready. Reporting. The launch bay is gone. Them now. I'm on them. Disable their engine. Enemies in range. Fire. Target locked. Coming around. Open fire on the laser. Target those lasers. At your command.
All right.
Attack that.
I do want to make sure we kill the engines. And we got him. Move over there. Crap. We're gonna lose a rester. And let's move you back. Okay, cool.
Star Destroyer reporting in. Direct fire on the engines.
I think that's every engine. We're good.
Ready for duty.
Yeah, without as many VSD2s and acclimators being as prevalent, I think the speed issues were just them being really fast. All right. I think we're gonna just sell something cheap. This fleet has relatively cheap stuff. And we're gonna install our capital here on Carida.
Constructing. Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Let's go for Laius. Palpatine is still in transit. There we go.
Shuttle en route.
Alright, so we want to take Laius.
Invasion commencing. Reporting. Choose your reinforcements.
And I'm going to get
Moving to coordinates. Order acknowledged.
Reinforcements en route.
On my way, sir.
some artillery for that. I think there's a sensor array in here. So that's job one.
Awaiting orders.
What do officers do in TR any different than base game? Well, they are going to come with ships, depending on their tier. So that you don't have to
There they are. Blast them.
give up your use of
Cover.
Pathfinders.
Advancing. Affirmative.
Reporting.
Can you hit these infantry?
Attack. Reporting. Acknowledged.
And let's get the IDT up there. Support the infantry.
Ready. Beginning short range fire. Brigade standing by.
Yep.
Rolling out. Charge. Scanning.
Oh, you got him anyways. Good stuff.
Yes, Commander.
Almost got you killed.
Armor ready. Moving to fire.
Captured an abandoned sensor array.
Alright.
Squad, move out.
Move on back.
Ready.
And we're going to deploy some troops to capture this one.
Artillery
Unit
online.
destroyed. Roger.
I have been playing with some ways to limit the use of orbital bombardments and bombing runs, and I think it should work. But I'm not 100% sure, so I was thinking some limited amount per battle will be what you end up getting,
Copy. On
rather
my way.
than encouraging people to sit back and wait on them.
Ready. Ready for orders.
Unfortunately, we can't really tie it to much that's like context specific or context sensitive,
Initiate
but
bombing run.
we'll at least be able to make it so that they don't have the same undue influence on ground battles, hopefully. Because it feels kind of shitty having the entire mode be based around stuff that's not interactive in that mode. It's not great for gameplay, especially something that is so free to use. There's literally no reason not to do it.
Reporting in.
But if you have to pick, like, these targets I eventually want a bombing run, these ones I want to
Destination. Yes, sir.
advance on, that becomes a bit better.
Roger that. Firing at will. Form up. Targeting enemy.
Roger that. Right away, sir.
Limited might be more troublesome if it's a massive ground battle between two fully decked out armies, no? I mean, that's kind of the point, is that it should be the battle between the armies rather than just, here's something you can do literally nothing about that's going to wipe everything out. It'd be like in space if hypervelocity guns just killed everything immediately, and like 4 hypervelocity gun shots would negate your ability to play the battle.
I copy. Commencing attack. Reporting. On my way, sir.
Bombardment available.
Weapons armed.
I was so close to death. And I've also been working on some ways to make them a little bit more skirmishy. Not like full skirmish, but
Moving out.
something to make it a little bit more dynamic, which will hopefully work.
Copy. Moving to position.
Form up. Squad, advance.
Make it actually worth it to take different parts of the map.
Move out.
Yes, Commander. Cannons charged.
Alright. I think we're pretty much
Weapons activated.
good here.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative, sir.
Just these guys left.
Reporting. Yes, Commander.
Awaiting orders. Bombing run.
What if your ship types had bombers in their loadout? Would mess with space too, but it could be any. So that wouldn't really impact ground at all, because as long as you just had one bomber in your fleet, it would still apply. And well, it would still like very much throw off space balancing, because like bombers, you do need a decent amount to use them effectively. I don't think that would really accomplish anything for ground, and it would just make space worse.
System conquered.
All right, we got Laius. I think I can move through here, right? Yeah. No, okay, so... Oh, right, there's stuff actually spawned there. If it was just locked, then we could, but we do spawn stuff. I guess we'll get the last spawn there. Or the last mining facility there, rather. We can still build a few more mine or trade ports, rather.
Awaiting your command.
So we'll do some of that.
Construction complete.
And let's get Wrinkles and Emo Kid into Eddie. Would you possibly consider having a Xan Consortium raid fleet? Would love to capture mean aggressor, Star Destroyer. So Most of the core units of the Zan Consortium would be going elsewhere. Like Aggressor we're doing for Zinj, the Kadalbe is a Mandalorian ship. The Crusader shows up for the Empire. The only thing that we don't use currently is the Vengeance, which could show up somewhere else. So I don't think we really need a Zan Consortium raid fleet. There's other places to use that kind of content. Well, the reason we'd be putting the Aggressor for Zinj has nothing to do with Zan. It's because the Aggressor was an Imperial prototype, or an Imperial design that was stolen by Tiber. So, considering that Zinj was into weapons development, more on the bioweapon side, but it's Empire at War, we figured he made the most sense as a place to put that kind of thing. Something more experimental for him to use. Any update on more scripted battles, such as the Katana fleet, at least when it comes to this mod? Well, the ones we're mostly focusing on for that would be Fall of the Republic at the moment. Because when you have only 2 factions, and at most 3 factions, it's a lot easier to know what state the galaxy is in at any given time and to script stuff. We do want to get more story events and scripted battles in both mods, but they are a bit more time consuming to do. Alright, so we can just get through there. We can take this local office and then we can get that landing zone.
I am in command.
Cedrus, can you blow that up while Palpatine blows this up?
Reporting. Target.
Just need to make sure I don't get Palpatine killed. That would be unfortunate.
Yes, sir.
Here, just give me that. That's mine now. And Cedrus, well, you're not doing anything. Run on over there and grab me that.
Unit destroyed.
Bombing run available.
Is it possible to actually complete an entire conquest as Thrawn besides a specific one before Era 3 is forced by time-lapse? Yeah, 60 weeks is a pretty long time. So
No one commands me.
Bombers at the ready.
it is possible to take the whole galaxy before that ends.
Commencing.
Okay, that's their full capital.
What?
Commence your reinforcement.
We can't actually do the victory point victory condition in this one because I haven't activated the scripts in Thrawn's Revenge yet. I did today for the Thrawn campaign because that's where I'm testing some of the other ground changes that I'm making. But
We shall crush the rebellion.
Awaiting orders.
that is not in this build.
Disturbance in the Force. We have a new
Always ready, sir.
What made you decide to not turn the AT-AT into an APC and just keep the base ability? Because it kind of makes more sense that you could deploy from it. You can't really run up the legs very easily. There's a fair amount of other vehicles that can do the carrying thing, whereas for the AT-AT, deploying troops is a fairly unique ability. It's just with everything else you have available. Like, why build an A-10 if...
As you wish, General. On the move.
or a PX-10 or an A9.
Roger that.
No. The Floating Fortress, whichever one that is. If you can just do that all the same shit with an AT-AT. What did you even... Hey, you can't... Whatever. That's fine. Just do what you want. Jerks. I paid good money for that vision. Palpatine, just fuck him up.
Form up. Awaiting orders. Scouting area.
Thank you.
I fear no one.
Copy. I copy. Moving out. Reporting.
That's not what you want. You want the AT-AT up here.
Fire. Yes, sir. Let's go. Reporting.
Why was the office so far away from the base? Because they have a lot of structures here, so it probably went to an outbase special structure position, which is usually prioritized by things like the ion cannon. But if you have a lot of structures and they're all typically base positions, then, or typically in base structures, then they will use the outbase positions as well. All right, Cedrus and Palpatine can handle over there. Alright, get them up there. You up there. No, you need to actually go places. This isn't a free ride. Air attack's the problem. We don't need the corporate headquarters. Palpatine, that's all you. Cedrus, you can stay up here and be useful.
Awaiting orders. Roger. AT-AT ready. Targeting.
I am ready. Run while you can.
The Nebula is not supposed to be more powerful than an ISD-2. It can perform on a similar level, but it is... Like, the thing with a lot of the new class stuff is how much power they fit into a small space. Not that it individually outclasses everything an ISD can do in every stat line. They put out a lot of damage, they're pretty tanky for their size, and they cost an appropriate amount for what they do. They aren't just going to be out there, like, demolishing things one-on-one, though, necessarily.
Armor transport ready.
Can you show water on your late mod? Water like that? I'm not sure what you're asking me for. Well, the ability's not actually casting properly, Awesome Creation, so
Reporting in.
he's not actually using it.
By my will. Come with me.
Moving to secondary position.
The enemy has been defeated.
What vehicles function as APCs in the mod? Can the NR mass produce gargantuans like Heavy Tracker, the AA5 speeder truck, the Chariot Lav can carry some stuff, the PX-10, the A9, the whatever, A something floating fortress. And no, the NR doesn't mass produce gargantuans, only the CSA gets to build them. It's an air attack battle platform, so we just gave him the ability to buy up parts of that as a corporate-based faction. Let's get, yeah, more money. Cedrus, tell us what's here.
Clear for departure.
Okay, that's...
Departure vector set.
Yeah, it looks like they sent a lot of what they had left after us. So Pink Blossom's going to go in first position. And we are going to kill the shit out of Ession. Thanks, Buckman. Looks like you have some officers at Carida. Oh yeah, I should check
Enemy
that.
has been spotted.
We definitely need to make like a hologram thing that alerts that more noticeably. Bob will be happy because I have to actually jump in here. Pylon, Core World Pride, Call to Order, Rampager,
Navigating to coordinate.
and SDF.
Flank speed.
A Striker as well.
Coming about.
Then when they're already in, we're going to bring in Spam Musabi, MTC, and an actual MTC, Queen Amidala's Revenge.
Destination confirmed. Yes, Commander. Coming around.
CSA using proper Nebulon Bs instead of the weird, gross Nebulon B2s,
Awaiting orders.
which have finally been cut.
Awaiting orders for another run. Targeting. Roger that. Form up. Fire at will. Awaiting your command. Awaiting order.
Alright, onto the Golan 2.
Your command, sir.
And... Core World Pride. Oh, they're actually leaving. Hey, wait a minute.
Commander.
Target locked.
Okay, we got the engines. Never mind.
Reporting in. Move out.
He won't be around much longer.
Alright. Have we already been recording for 37 minutes? Wow. Wow. Alright, I think we've dealt enough damage to the CSA that I'm not worried about getting smashed by them anytime soon. But let's take a look at Carida. Yeah, we do have our first officers. We have a ground and a space one, a fleet commander with a tier 4 bonus and a dreadnought heavy cruiser. And we have a field commander tier 3. So that's actually pretty good. This one, not great, but still decent. And this is something that's really going to help, especially some of the smaller factions. But we've actually got the New Republic kind of closed in these core planets. So we'll definitely put that one in charge of a fleet somewhere. I do want to sell some of our non-patron units to get into the patron ones faster. So we'll get Shadow of Hyrule, Imperial Warlord Star, and Endurance built back up. Here at Ord Tracy, we get Rage of the Empire, Appetite for Destruction, what are the tiers you can get? I forget if we maxed them out at 3. But it might be even higher than that they can go. I don't have the list on me right now, so I don't want to say anything offhand because it'd be wrong. But I can... We're going to do a feature preview for it. And I'll cover it in more depth. Officers random. Well, there's a random element to it, but it's not like fully randomizing all the stats. And there's a limit to what you can get. So... I think the fleet officer we got is probably towards the lower end of what you can get. The field officer, I think, is towards the higher end of what you can get. But they're definitely useful to have. So let's let the week roll on. We do have access to our World Devastators now. These are still using old setup, so they don't reflect the reworks in the same way yet. Do we want to get these yet? Well, let's get the super shipyard first, just in case we get attacked.
Awaiting your command.
Yeah, the World Devastators, not going to be fantastic right now. But I may fuck with their stats a bit in this build, just so that they're useful for the playthrough.
Tactical battle imminent.
Did he retreat there? Whatever. Okay, you can have Yavin back. I don't care.
Building started.
Where else do we need that? Oh, I might have connected that somewhere. It might be linked to Mandalore. Because I did make new hyperlanes for this, and some of them, like the default for our GC editor is to have them set to none for the render type. And I thought I fixed them all, but it is an annoying reality of the editor right now. Have you considered giving the NR AHS-1 assault air speeders? You asked me the NR needs something a bit better than snow speeders to counter AT-ATs, and V-wings or more air. Well, they have more than just snow speeders against AT-ATs. Like, they have their own heavy vehicles, and V-wings do a lot of damage. We're not really, like, the New Republic has the most complete roster in almost every way. So when it comes to adding new units, they're not really a focus at the moment. Other factions need a lot more than they do. So saying that they have a hole in their roster would mean that literally everyone else has a much bigger hole in their roster. So I don't know that that's really a focus for us. But I think we are going to end this episode here. We're going to keep going on Twitch, but for those watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. And we'll be back in a second. Just going to save.